everyone, it's Becky from Book Obsessed Becky. I know it has been a hot minute since I've been on here. We have had a family emergency, like a medical emergency, and it's still going on. So that's why I haven't been around. I'm hoping to get back to my regular scheduling every Sunday, but with my father-in-law being in the hospital and he's been in there for I think like 3 weeks now, life is a little bit scattered, but I do have a best books of 2024 video planned, thinking about the ones that I think were the best that I read over 2024. But last night I finished a book and I just have to tell you about it because there's not very many books that I've read that stick with me this much, stick to me, I guess, because I just finished it last night, so it hasn't been a long time, but I wanted to talk about it anyways because it made such an impact. I don't know. I read a lot and I like a lot of books, but this one just really hit different. And I've had that happen in the past when I read the Harry Potter series for the first time. When I read, I think it was The Nightingale by Kristin. I had it happen when I read A Man Called Ove, I think that's how you say it, Ove or Ove, by Fredrik Backman. Those books just hit, and last year one of the books that hit for me was The Frozen River, and I'm looking down to see if I can see the author's name. Her name is Ariel Lawhon? I don't know, something like that. I'll write it down below anyways. But last night I finished up Beartown by Fredrik Backman. Honestly, I don't even know what to say. So when I read A Man Called Ove a few years ago by this author, I found that book to be probably one of the most romantic and sad books I think I've ever read, other than Snape's story in Harry Potter. It got me right here, And when I picked up Beartown, I'd heard so many good things about it from people that I watch on YouTube and from Bogel. Her podcast, What Should I Read Next? She was talking about it a lot. And when I went to the library to pick it up, the librarian, she's like, "Oh, this is one of my favorite books. I hope you love it." And wow, was she right. So I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give spoilers. But I am going to say straight up, you need to check trigger warnings before picking this book up because it does have some seriously heavy-hitting topics. But I don't want to say what they are because I don't want to spoil what's going to happen. So I'm talking kind of quick, so I'm running out of breath or whatever, but it's because it's 12 degrees out and my dog's outside because he was wanting to go out, so I'm trying to hurry before he comes back in. And my son is in his bedroom and he's playing a video game with a friend and he's talking in a mic. So I'm trying to get this video out before all those interruptions hit. But Beartown. Okay, I don't even know where to begin. So we're following these hockey players, between 15 and 17 years old, in the whole community. And this community, or town, Beartown, is obsessed with hockey, ice hockey. I think it's takes place in Sweden, but I'm not sure. So winters are pretty harsh, and yeah, the whole town is in favor of hockey. And these kids grew up playing hockey and they're working really hard to bring back all the glory back to this town because it's kind of a dying town. It's a small town. There was a guy that I can't Peter. I was gonna say I can't remember his name. His name was Peter. When he was growing up, he was so good at hockey, he went off to I think it was Canada, and he played professionally. He had some things happen and he ended up coming back to Beartown with his wife and his children. And he took a job in this town at the hockey club as the general manager. Well, his mentor, I think his name is Sune. It's S-U-N-E, so I don't know how you pronounce that. But he's an older man now, and he was Peter's coach. Well, he's still coaching. He's probably in his 70s or whatever. And then there's another coach named David who is he coaches completely different than Sune. And I think I'm doing a terrible job of explaining this book, but And I don't want to do that because I want everybody to read it because it's so good. But they've groomed these boys into thinking that they're going to be the best of the best and they're going to go places in life, and something terrible happens in the town. And like it rocks the whole town. So think small community, all obsessed with hockey, and then something happens and now the town is divided. And I have my phone here because I'm going to read you like the first page in the book, and this is what really hooked me. It says, this is how the book starts out. On page 1, I think. It says, late one evening, toward the end of March, a teenager picked up a double-barreled shotgun, walked into the forest, put the gun to someone else's forehead, and pulled the trigger. This is the story of how we got there. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to know what happens. So, like I said, something absolutely terrible happens in this community involving these hockey players and some other kids in the community, and the town becomes divided. And the hate between the members and the town, like between the division, is just, it's incredible. And the anger that it, like, I don't even, like, the anger I felt at the injustice of what was going on in this story, I couldn't even handle it. And I think that that's the mark of a great writer, is when the writer is able to trigger such emotions in you that you just are like beside yourself. I told my husband when I finished the book last night, I was like, you need to read this book because I desperately need somebody to talk to about it, because I can't. And it was the same way when I finished A Man Called Ove. I handed my husband the book. I'm like, you need to read this. I need to talk to somebody about this. And that's exactly how it is with this book. But if you like small community vibes, if you like cold temperatures and like snowy settings, and you like sports, and I'm not even like a sports person. I am not a competitive person at all. But I was hooked on this hockey team and this community. But if you are into sports, if you're not into sports, I still think this could be a book for you. It definitely revolves around community, and a small community at that. And it kind of makes me giggle because the bar in town is run by this older woman. I think her name was Ramona, and her husband died years ago, you know. And so now she runs this bar, and she's kind of known as like the psychologist in the town, this bar owner, because everybody goes to her for advice. And like, she is the grandma that's not a grandma that's putting up with nobody's crap, and she just tells you how it is, like straight out, which I really loved that about her. And like, you're following Peter, like I said, the general manager, and you're following his family. He's got a wife, a son, and a daughter, and his wife is a lawyer, and she is no nonsense. She doesn't understand like the craziness of this community that she lives in, and she's not really doing her job to the best of her abilities, because like, she's the best at what she does, and she's kind of working at a pokey law firm, like a small town pokey law firm kind of a thing. So she could do so much more with her talents, but her husband loves hockey so much that she agreed to be where they are. And I don't think I'm selling this very well. And I probably sound all over the place because I don't script my videos. Like, what you see is what you get with me, and that's just how it is, which is probably absolutely a terrible way to have a channel, but it's supposed to be fun. And for me, like, scripting everything out stresses me out, and then I'm like, oh, what if I missed all kinds of stuff on my notes or whatever? And I mean, sometimes I do have notes here just to try to remember little bits, but this is like fresh off the cuff from finishing this book last night. I finished the book last night. I woke up this morning, and here I am talking to you about it. And I'm not even doing a great job at it, but honestly, you've got to pick this book up. Like, somebody please pick this book up so that we can talk about it, because I just can't even handle it. I'm just so angry about what happened, and I loved the resolution at the end of the story. I think he did a great job with it. And I am so eager to continue on in the series. Like, that will be a series I'm continuing in 2025, which I plan on doing a video about that too, like a continuation series. video of the books I want to finish, and of course my best books of 2024. But seriously, this book, oh my gosh. Can I ramble much more about it? I probably should stop talking now because this video is going to be absolutely ridiculous, but I just can't even handle it. I can't even handle it. Beartown was just, it was everything, and it's definitely going to be on my top 2025 books of this year. I can already tell. Like, it's just, it's that fantastic. But like I said, check trigger warnings before you decide to pick this one up because there are seriously heavy-hitting topics. And yeah, okay, well, I'm going to get off here now so I can get this edited and hopefully get it up tomorrow before we have to head back to the hospital. But I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody had a great Christmas and a great New Year's if you celebrate. I hope you had all kinds of fantastic books to read, and if not, I hope you're reading some fantastic books. And I will speak to you all very soon. Bye!